Newsom vetoed a piece of legislation that would have allowed for supervised drug injection sites in San Francisco, Oakland, and Los Angeles, facilities designed to address the crisis of overdose deaths. Opponents, however, argue that these facilities normalize illegal behavior and will only worsen the crisis. In a statement released today, the governor said in part, quote, "It is possible that these sites would help improve the safety and health of our urban areas, but if done without a strong plan, they could work against this purpose." For more now, we're joined now by the author of this legislation, State Senator Scott Weiner. Senator Wiener, we always appreciate the time here. I know in a statement you put out just a short time ago, you described this veto by the governor as tragic. Why do you describe it that way?
It's absolutely tragic. We have in San Francisco, 2 people a day are dying of drug overdoses. 2 a day. That's almost 1,000 every year. And that's playing out throughout the state. And safe consumption sites, it's very simple actually. And it's been used around the world for 30 years that people, instead of shooting up on a sidewalk in public view where they can overdose and then die, they can go inside, out of public view in a healthy setting, use drugs and be offered treatment, and many people go into treatment. And if they do overdose, it can be reversed and they don't die. This is a basic harm reduction model. It's been studied for decades and is very successful at getting people into treatment and keeping people alive. And California should be doing this. This is a real tragedy.
Well, what is your response to the governor today in his statement about the veto, raising concerns about how these supervised injection sites would be operated and overseen at the local level? Does he have a point there?
Yeah, listen, I support the governor. He's my friend. I have a lot of respect for him. He is just dead wrong on this. Again, these sites, this is not a new thing. Cities around the world have been using these sites for decades. San Francisco or LA or Oakland wouldn't be just like from whole cloth creating something new. New York City implemented these a year ago. They have been so successful that Mayor Adams in New York City, who's a law and order mayor, Mayor Adams wants them to go 24 hours because they've been so successful. So we know how to operate these sites. It's nothing new. And so I respectfully, strongly disagree with the governor's veto message.
All right. We know that Governor Newsom previously, in years past, has said that he was open to the idea of supervised injection sites. Why do you think the turnaround here? Why do you believe the governor decided to reject this legislation in the end?
I don't know. It's disappointing. The governor wants to convene a working group. You know, for the last 4 years, we could have been doing a working group if the governor needed more feedback. And, you know, we would have been happy to engage in a discussion around guardrails or any changes that the governor may have wanted in the bill. We do that with a lot of bills. It's a very normal thing to engage with the administration on changes they want to see. That we didn't get that feedback. So it's just very, very disappointing. You know, people are dying and we have an opportunity to save lives and get people into treatment, and we should do it. So, you know, the governor wants to do this working group. I say, you know, Godspeed with the working group. But my view is that San Francisco should just go ahead and open something up because I don't want more people to die.
All right, let me ask you, what role do you think politics and future potential political endeavors might have played here? I mean, we know the governor is trying to raise his profile on a national level here, some suggesting he might be eyeing a run for the White House. And, you know, he has to navigate kind of a tricky political landscape. When you look at things from a national perspective here as a presidential contender, do you think that his future ambitions could have played a role here in how he made a decision on your legislation?
I can't speculate on that. I know that I just disagree with the governor's veto. I've disagreed with other vetoes of his, and I've strongly agreed with times when he's signed good legislation. So I've learned in politics, sometimes you agree, sometimes you disagree, and I'm not going to speculate about motives. Okay,
but finally, Senator, and we have to wrap up. We're almost out of time, but the governor says he wants to continue these discussions here and try to hammer out some of the details to get this done. Do you take him at his word? Do you believe that is what he would like to do? And do you see a path forward here?
I absolutely take him at his word, and I will always, as always, be willing to work with the governor. Like, I've known him for over 20 years. I've worked with him on many things, and of course, I'm very, very willing to work with him. But people are dying right now, and so we don't have time for a working group and to talk about it more and to study it more. We have so many peer-reviewed studies that say that these work. So I think that while the state gets its act together, because right now with this veto, the state doesn't have its act together. San Francisco and other cities should just move forward and open these up, because saving lives needs to be job one for government.
All right. Really appreciate your time today and always. State Senator Scott Weiner from San Francisco. Good to see you.